I said, why not a physical therapist? And she went and became a physical therapist. So I want our young people, sometimes you think they don't listen.
Okay, put the
but
phones
they
away,
read
listen.
1 or 2 words from here, and that might be a game changer. If coming to these meetings every year, if every year it only changes one child, my job will be done. And having said that, let me say thank you now that we have most of them are coming. Thank you, KCDALLAS, for bringing us again together here tonight. And thank you for inviting me. That tells me I did not say anything wrong last time. I'll try not to say anything else bad that maybe you can invite me next year. But the day I'm tired of coming and I say something that will make you not invite me. But I'll say thank you so much for bringing us together tonight. As we gather here tonight, it's not so much about everything that we've done, but we come together because we are one people. We come together for the young ones and for ourselves, so that at the end of this life, we can say the investment for our life has given us a good return. Having said that, let me be quick to say, for us, those who are getting older in this community, there is no success without a successor. Every success without a successor is failure. I'm reminded tonight of the words of, and before that, let me not be quick to go too far. Tonight I'm actually joined by my 2 boys, and they are now old enough to be here with me. They can just wave. I don't have to do that. And I'm grateful that they can accompany me to be here tonight. Just like I hope you are grateful that your children have accompanied you as well to be here tonight. Chinuache said that a man or a woman, they call their kinsmen to feast. When they call them, it does not mean that those people who have been called to feast are starving in their homes. Those days, they all come and they all have food in their house. And they can see the moon from their homes without coming together as a group. But they call them together because it's a good thing for kinsmen and kinswomen to share a meal together. Not because we could not eat the same food at home. Not because we could not see and have the AC in our homes, but because it's a good thing to share a meal as a group. And as we come to share a meal, I invite all of us as KCDALLAS, come, let's reason together. Come, let's talk as a community. These are the words from the Bible. I like it even in Kalenjin more. Obwa kenala. Come, let's do it. Reason together. I watched the inauguration yesterday for the Botswanan president, and I was moved by what he said. I don't know how many people watched that inauguration speech by the Botswanan president. And he said that he's only the president because he was raised by his village and his community. He said he was just the boy of the village, that the village and the country had seen his faith for him to lead the country. I was touched that he understood that he was only successful because the community invested in him. Many of us have been here for 20, 30 years. And my prayer is that we can invest in ourselves and invest in these young people. So tonight, Young people, those who are in 13 and 14 and 15, in only 10 years, you will not be 13 anymore. You will not be 14 anymore. You will be 23. You will be 25. And so tonight, a lot of what I'm going to say as well belongs to you. I want you to leave this place knowing that we got your back as your parents. And we want you to be successful because we love you and we care for you. KCDALLAS chose a very good topic, and the topic is we are better together, or just better together. It sounds simple, but I want to ask you not to be lost by the simplicity of the topic, better together. In that simplicity lie a lot of good things for us that we want to make sure that we go into. And so, let me begin by mentioning a few things that I've learned over the years that I'm going to change. Let me begin by mentioning a few things. The African proverb that we borrowed and has been used around the world says this: if you want to walk fast, walk alone. If you want to walk farther or far, walk together. Let me say that again. If you want to walk fast and not too far, walk alone. If you want to walk far, walk together. I say that to begin this talk as I ask, how well are we doing life together? As couples, as parents who are single parents, one of them among me, and our children, how well are we doing things together? Do we understand that in doing things together, we get more returns, or don't we? If we've been married for 20 years, has life been much better because we are together, or has it been bad and miserable because we are together? Can we look back and say, I am glad that I've done life with you, and thank you that we are much better together? When our children have been born and they've come and they can listen to us and we can have a talk with them at home, can we say, I'm so grateful, I'm a better person because of you? We are better together as a family. We are better together as a community. We are better together as a country. We are better together as a people. And so, many of us, parents who are here, have done many things. And I'm always surprised when I meet my friends, many of whom are here tonight, that we are very successful at work. We are very successful in entrepreneurship. We are very successful professionals. Many of us here leave many people below us, under us, successful. Why? Because we have and we understand that we can rally people to produce a lot of money for the companies that we work for or for the businesses that we own. But we seem to forget that when we get home, that we need to also rally our families and work together as a family. They say right now the immigrants lead a lot of companies. And I agree. And those companies are making a lot of money. But unfortunately, the same is not true for our families. While we have made money, tons of them, for many companies that we belong and work for, the same has not been reflected in our own families. You may know already that one of the groups that is suffering the most in their family success, may I say failure, are immigrants. But they're very successful in making tons of money in this country. Allow me to call on us again and say, is it time for us to go back and ask, what is the most important thing for us? How busy are we as a people? In fact, it was Henry David Thoreau that said that it's not enough to be busy, even the ants are busy. And yet, we become so busy all the time. Let me suggest 4 things that you have in your hands tonight as we look at why is it much better for us to be together. Why are we much more of a human being? Why am I much more of a father when I'm doing life together with my children or with the spouse or the children? Why am I much more of a husband when I'm doing life together with my wife intentionally? Why am I much more of a wife and a woman when I'm doing life intentionally with my spouse or my man? In your hands, you have a job. You have work that you do. In your hands, you have friends. In your hands, you have health. In your hands, you have integrity. And in your hands, you have family. Sooner or later, though, we will come to understand that work that we do every day, our jobs, are like a rubber ball. If we drop it will bounce back. The other 4 balls that I mentioned, family, health, friends, integrity, are made of glass. When we drop them, they'll be nicked or they'll shatter and break. Which one has more time? Is it our work or is it family? Which one can bounce if we drop it? Work can come back. What about our families? When we drop them, how quick do they bounce back? They never bounce back. When we drop them, many times, the generations and generations to come, if ever, they'll bounce back. That's why I wanted the young people to be here, to understand that when we are doing life, you are part of that life. And we want to make sure you are part of it. We want to invite you. All these parents, when they were growing up in Africa, including myself, our parents never invited us to sit down with them for anything, unless somebody else was invited here. Anybody? Anybody who sat down with their parents? When did you sit down with your parents? When you came back from school and they wanted to look at your report card and ask questions why you had failed several classes. After that, maybe you met with them when you were going back home and back to school for fees, right? I want us to be different and choose to invite these young people here. When I see them sitting down here, when I see them sitting down there, I do not see you as young people. I see you as the CEOs of tomorrow in companies in this country. Amen. I see you as doctors that will walk our hospitals tomorrow. I see you as surgeons that will come to when we are older. I see you as parents of the next generation. Yet, that is only true if we realize and understand to work together today. The price of not working together is high. The price of trying to beat ourselves and compete within ourselves, even in our own homes, is very expensive. I know that we were trained as we were growing up to always compete. And and that we were only much better off if we were ahead of someone else. And that we wanted to compete and make sure that I can live in a bigger house than yours. I can drive a better car than yours. That's okay. But we were right. Right now, around the world, the new cooperation is the new competition. We realize that we cannot do much by ourselves. We realize that it's not important what we have. Just because we are comparing ourselves to other people. It's okay for us to have them. But especially for this group, my people, as we sit and talk, please, we will go far if we work together. And that working together will start in our families. Oh, I always look back at home right now, when every headline is about corruption and everything else. When I look at that, I go back and almost cry for a moment, because I realize that the problem is not what is going on right now at home. The problem is that we missed a step in our families when we were raising our children. And it became important that we want to make all the money we can make in life. It's not important for us to have the ideals. And therefore, we've raised a people that don't care for honesty. We've raised a people that don't care for integrity, because those things cannot be taught in a classroom. They can only be modeled in the family. And I hope we can set the stage here and work together so that these young people can say, I remember how my dad and mom worked together. I remember how they supported each other. I remember what they gave us. I remember how they cared for us. And therefore, I am different today because my parents worked together. Yet, what they could be saying right now, many times is, I remember the differences that I would see in my parents. I remember the competition in my parents. Let me surprise you. I worked with a girl from Kenya, I'm not mentioned for multiple million. And she told me that I'm not married in Kenya, and I said, why? She said, because I don't know if my parents love each other. I've never seen them even demonstrate and show up. I wanted to cry. Why am I saying that? Because I want us to also, we'll be better together if we can show these young people what love means from home. That they can go out and say, I want to find a man like my dad who will love me like he loved my mother. I want to find a wife that will love me like my mother loved my father. Only if they've seen it at home. Because we are better together even when we are demonstrating love at home. Therefore, tonight, let me therefore read your mind back and take it to the very small place in your mind that no one else can visit. And I want you to ask yourself this question as I continue. Have I valued the person that is doing life with me? Do I see them as making me a better person? Or do I see only the things that they've not done? In the animal kingdom, very interestingly, I found you when I say the animals know this more than us. In the mammalian kingdom, the success is always in the cooperation. The elephants, their young ones are many times taken care of by other mothers. They call it allo mothering. You can Google that if you want to, A-L-L-O mothering. Where elephants take care of other kids because they understand there is success in working together. If you look at the wolves and the lions,